a lot of services, and we're proud and happy to provide those services. And when we are unable to do so, it's difficult. And we want to continue to make sure that we're reassuring families that our #1 priority is to get their students back into our buildings safely, and to make sure that we can still provide those services with a degree of consistency and continuity. So it's been difficult.
I know you may have mentioned it earlier, but for those people who haven't been to school in a long time, how much school tasks are dependent on these networks?
100%. You know, there's a degree of, I guess, of understanding that, you know, when we don't have the network or we don't have internet, that what that basically means is that students can't access TikTok or Snapchat. And while that might be true for us as an organization, it actually impacts and permeates all of our systems. And so again, we want to make sure that we know where every student is, that they're safe, that we can track their locations, and that we have monitoring and progress monitoring systems in play to know that we're providing them with the meals and with the instruction that they deserve. And so we continue to operate in a manner that is around safety and security, so that we know that our systems are clean and that we're making sure that we are protecting everyone's rights and that we're protecting everyone's information.
So, two questions. One is the semester ends on Friday. I know that there's concern amongst parents, teachers, and students about how that's going to be handled. Also, I understand that it is Friday.
That's correct. So, in terms of the student calendar, right now we've got 2 snow days built into the system, and so we are operating as if both today and tomorrow will be snow days. So that the protocols that we would typically follow in a snow day is what we'll be following right now. In terms of the semester being extended, we're working on that. We've got great partnerships and relationships with the state and the Department of Education, and so we are reaching out to them to offer some questions and have them offer some guidance and support moving forward. We'll continue to roll those answers out as we get them, as we're working with the state. We are right now really confident that our payroll system is confirmed that everybody will get paid on time. So that's looking really, really good. Again, that's just another example of when the network goes down, every aspect of the organization is permeated and impacted. And so we have confirmed and reaffirmed and then confirmed again that all of our payroll systems are running and that we will have everybody paid on time.
Obviously, you're dealing with the effects of this now, but how do you prepare for something like this before it happens?
You know, we've got actually a lot of things. You know, we've got our own firewall systems that were there. We work with consultants all the time around improving our cybersecurity networks, both externally and internally. You know, I don't know that you can ever foolproof prepare your system for this. What we're doing right now is learning everything that we can through our diagnostics checks and the forensics information that comes back to us, and we'll put better plans in place moving forward.
And what was it like the moment when the district discovered that this was happening?
It was a moment of a collective and urgent response from folks, recognizing that this situation has the potential to do just what it did, which is shut our school day down. And again, this is why we come to work every day, is to be with kids. And so when we're not with kids, it's difficult for everyone. And so recognizing the significance of this event, hopefully that also impresses upon everybody right now why this is so important that we get this right and that we create the environments that are safe and secure for our students and our families as we bring everybody back up online, that we do so in a very safe manner.
No, there have been some other school districts in Iowa that have had something similar happen to them. Knowing that in the back of your head, did you kind of think that maybe Des Moines would have to deal with something like this?
You know, I think every school district kind of considers the fact at some point that this is going to happen to them. It's not uncommon for attacks to happen on school districts. It happens almost daily in many respects, and we thwart a lot of those things. And sometimes it gets through. Again, I don't know what the extent of it is just yet until we get all of our forensic information back from the diagnostic checks. Those systems are running right now as I speak to you, and we'll get more information as the hours and the days sort of unfold. Again, right now, most important is that families and staff know that we will not have school tomorrow. Offices will be open, and I will make an announcement as soon as I possibly can regarding the rest of the week.
Is that going to be through email, through socials?
All the above. We would love to invite you back to have this same conversation at some point as well too, right? So we can have it through this format as well as through social media and our Snap Connect platform, which actually is a good time to let everybody know, our families. If you have not downloaded the Snap Connect app, we would encourage you to do so. It is a dual translation app, and we use that for all of our communication.
And just going back for one more thing, how did the district first realize that something was wrong?
We were alerted just through one of our system checks that there could be a potential cybersecurity event. And so again, that just triggered us to go into our phase 1 of locking down our system.
Can you explain that wording a little bit? What is a cybersecurity event?
There was an alert on one of our devices that let us know that we need to be aware that something could be taking place. And so without asking questions or waiting, or delaying the response, our response is and our protocols are to shut the system down, which is what we went into. So we received an alert.
So you mentioned those 2 snow days. There's no plan to make up any of these days at this time?
We definitely do intend to make up these days. Right now, these days are made up at the end of the school year. We'll adjust those plans as we need to based on what unfolds here the next few hours and the next couple of days.
For any students that have any one-to-one devices at home, are they safe to use those on their own Wi-Fi networks or anything like that, or should they stay away from using those devices altogether?
No, thank you. Great question. No, they are safe to use those devices. We don't have any indication that any of that has been compromised, and so they are safe to use their own devices at their house.
You talked a little bit about any sort of kind of sensitive information. You talked about school lunches and everything in that nature. Is there any sort of indication that students or families' personal information has been leaked anywhere through this check?
Yeah, I can't confirm that. Again, that's what all of our diagnostics checks will actually let us know. And so once we get those forensics back, we'll have a lot more of a confident idea of anything that has or has not happened.
How long do you think that check might take?
I don't have any timeline on that yet. Again, this is one of the reasons why we consult and why we have cyber insurance. So we allow the experts to guide us and to direct us in the right path. And so we'll just rely on their support right now.
So I did have cyber insurance ready.
That is correct. We do have cyber insurance.
I know it's kind of a day-by-day kind of event right now, but if this isn't solved by the end of this week, it goes into next week, is it still going to be that kind of daily check-in, or is it going to be kind of an across the board, we won't be having school, or go to kind of an offline model? What is that going to look like?
Yeah, right now we're having those daily check-ins. We've got multiple updates with the team internally and as well as some external updates as well. So we'll play that sort of hour by hour, to be honest with you. Right now we're making sure that folks know that tomorrow we do not have school, but the offices are open, and we will continue to work with the teams to get more information even as the day ensues and into the night to be able to make a decision for the days coming, whether it's Thursday or Friday. Again, Monday, we're off for Martin Luther King Day. Next Tuesday and next Wednesday are already scheduled professional development days, so students are not in attendance those days right now. So we know that those things are happening, and we're planning contingency supports for families in the interim.
Also, those support contingencies, students that depend on those free meals at school and stuff like that, food pantries, are they able to receive those in this meantime when all these systems are down, or what is that?
That's a perfect example for that. Again, that's one of those contingencies that we would talk about is if we are not going to be in school for an extended period of time, we will have those meal sites developed and ready to serve families. And so that's an example of many of the things that teams are working on right now.
I guess, how has it been possible to function not having access to the district offices right now?
At kind of the old-fashioned way, right? You call somebody on the phone and you do the best you can with it. It is a reminder of how much we rely on the internet service through all of our platforms. Again, all of our Microsoft Outlook platforms and our suites, our Teams meetings, things like that. So we're having to make adjustments to that, and the team's doing really, really well in adjusting on the fly. So it is difficult, to say the least, but the team is making it happen, and again, our goal is to get kids and staff back in the buildings.
I guess clarification question, did this cyber attack affect the key card system, or did you as a district decide let's not let anyone in for the time?
The key card system is impacted, but there's still some diagnostics that need to be run on that to determine the intermittent impact that we're seeing right now.
So about the key card systems, a lot of people I've spoken with have talked about how one of the biggest reasons kids are not in school right now is because of that lack of security.
Yeah, and so again, it's not necessarily the security piece. We have backup systems and plans for functionality within schools. It has to do with all of the other components that are connected to the network. Again, transportation, routing systems, food nutrition aspects of that. There are some functionality in the building in terms of team services, instructional materials, things like that, that are dependent on network services. Some of these have workarounds, some of these do not. And so we're working through all of those protocols to make sure that where we have a backup plan and a workaround, that we can get that implemented and put into play as soon as possible.
Any final thoughts about the situation?
Yeah, this is, again, it's one of those events that you plan and prep for, and then when it happens, you put your protocols into place. So I do want to express my gratitude for the team for pulling together and working the long nights and the many hours to make sure that we get back up online and get students and staff back in our building. This is no easy feat to come back from. We are taking an abundance of caution as we're working through this, and I do want to let families know it's not lost on us, on the team, how impactful this is for many of our families that are looking for childcare, that are looking for opportunities to get their kids in structured environments. We absolutely recognize that this is putting a hardship and a burden on our families. And that is not something that we want to do to our folks and to our community. And we want to make sure that they know that we are doing everything that we can to get back into the building and do it safely, to make sure that we can provide the services that we promised them. And so we're working on that day and night.
Do you have anything you want to say to the educators as well?
Yeah, the educators are doing an amazing job. They continue to operate with families and connect as they can. And so we want our teachers and our staff and our food nutrition workers, our bus drivers, everybody know that though we're not physically in the building right now with one another, every last one of you is on our hearts and on our minds, and we care about you deeply, and we're looking forward to get back to work.
Can you talk about what's happening? Like a lot of the messages have been like, people are working through the night. Like what's happening right now?
We are working specifically with our cybersecurity insurance company to make sure that we are following all of our protocols, to make sure that we are looking at our systems, running the forensics, getting the information that we can to know exactly what we're dealing with, so that we know exactly how to respond moving forward.
Thanks, everybody. Unless anything urgent changes, we'll provide an update sometime tomorrow morning, including confirmation of what our plans are for Thursday. And you know where to find Amanda Lewis and myself, so I'm sure you won't hesitate with any follow-ups.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Superintendent.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.